So first of all, those who joined on time, thank you very much. And now we will endeavor to start this session. Good afternoon and good evening once again to everyone. My name is Tejas Lapshetwar. I am the founder and CEO of Gyanberry. I hope you are able to see my screen. At the outset, I want to thank each and every one of you for signing up for this webinar and taking out the time to attend this webinar today. This means that all of you are fully committed and passionate to become a doctor from a top medical school. And I can assure you today you are at the right place. As you all know, today's agenda is about studying medicine at Charles University at the prestigious First Faculty of Medicine. And there can be no better person to talk about it than Dr. Ethan Brisman, the Vice Dean of International Students at the First Faculty of Medicine. Professor Ethan, once again, thank you on behalf of Ganberry and all the students for agreeing to speak on this webinar. If you could just say a quick hello to everyone.
Certainly, sorry, my webcam has to be enabled, so you can't see me yet. But okay. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming today. And I look forward to telling you a little bit about Prague. And to ask some questions. And thank you to the Gyanberry team, a fantastic first-class team for putting this together, for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. So before Dr. Ethan begins his presentation, I just have a couple of slides to share with all of you. So this year we are completing 6 years of our cooperation. In fact, we are celebrating our cooperation with the First Faculty of Medicine, and we are proud to let all of you know, that we have placed hundreds of students in the last 6 years at the faculty. As you all know, the faculty is very competitive to get in, and through our efforts, we've managed to place hundreds of students at the faculty. And we're looking forward to many years of successful cooperation in the future as well. These are just some of the students that you see from the orientation week last year at the faculty. Some of the Ganberry students are there as well, enjoying their time in Prague. Right. So if you also want to get into the First Faculty of Medicine, we can help you improve your chance by giving you one-to-one personalized assistance and guidance throughout the admission process. We all know that you are in the last year of your high school and you're already daunted, with a lot of academic work and preparing for your own school exams. So we will take all the hassle of handling the admission process on a one-to-one basis. Our assistance is free of charge. We charge students only for the exam and application fee. And one of our key factors that has helped students to get the success that we have had so far is because of our exclusive preparation material. As we all know, the entrance exam for the faculty is competitive. And through our years of experience, we have customized the preparation material to improve your chances. And we also help students to prepare for the interviews, the so-called multi-mini interviews, MMIs, for the faculty. And one of our key differentiators is that we provide one-to-one mentoring from the senior students of the faculty. We have placed some brilliant students over the past few years who are willing to help you to get into the faculty. They have gone through this drill, previous years, and now they want to share their experience and tips with all of you. So we as a Ganberry, we are that connector. We will connect you with the senior students so that you can get practical tips and advice from them, not only about getting into the faculty, but also how to succeed at the faculty. And over the last 6 years, we have had 100% visa success rate. What I mean by that is whatever applications we have submitted at the Czech embassy have resulted in positive visa decision. They have been granted visas and students are at the faculty. So we are very proud of the fact. So these are the differences we can make to your application and improve your chance to get into the faculty. Now, without wasting any more time, now I will let Professor take over the forum and address all of you. Just a quick reminder, this presentation will be for about roughly 30 minutes, and then we will allow a Q&A session for around 20 to 25 minutes, depending on how much time is remaining. We already have some pre-submitted questions from students and parents. We'll try to prioritize those, and then we will pick up questions from the Q&A section, again, depending on the availability of time. So, Professor Aithin, the room is all yours. If you would like to share your screen, I've already enabled that. And yeah.
Certainly. Thank you. Okay. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I do.
Brilliant. So you can't see me yet. I'm sorry about that. You'll have to unfortunately see my face later on. I'll put up with that later on. I'll start by confirming what Tejas was saying. It's really important when you're applying to a prestigious university such as ours that you choose the right team to help you get there. And with that, the Gyanberry team, as Tejas has said, is probably if not one of the most successful, either they are the most successful, one of the most successful agencies, recruitment partners that we have. Their team looks after you, they genuinely care about you, and their results speak for themselves. They have the highest number of successful students, not only getting through in the admissions procedure, but also, as I just said, for the visa. We have no control of the visa. That's controlled by the embassies and by the Ministry of Interior, something to do with the university. So it's really important that when you get your offer through, you immediately start applying for a visa and get any help you can. So if the Gyanberry team are extremely experienced in applying for visas and get them to help you. We'll talk a little bit more about the visas and what's required later on. But thank you all once again for coming. There's about 200 people or more that are here today watching this presentation, so thanks to all of you. My name is Aitan Brisman. I'm the Vice Dean for Charles University's first Faculty of Medicine. The university is in Prague in Czech Republic, although myself, I am from London, but I am a graduate of this faculty. I studied where you are wanting to study many, many years ago when I had some hair. Went after graduating back to the UK, where I'm from, worked as a doctor there, and came back here about 4 years ago and became the Vice Dean, was made the Vice Dean about 1 year ago. So my job today is to tell you about our faculty. So first of all, let's talk about Prague, Czech Republic. Where is it? For those of you that don't know, I hope you all know where we are, but for those of you that don't know where we are, so the Czech Republic, or Czechia as they like to be called now, is in the very center of Europe. So Germany on the left-hand side, Poland above, Slovakia to the right, Austria down below. And if you were to pinpoint the real kind of epicenter of Europe, then it's about 20 kilometers to the left of Prague. It's a population of about 10 million people who are mostly atheists. It's not a religious country in any way. And they are very open-minded, as they always have been, because this is Bohemia. They're very open-minded about everyone and everything. As a country, it's great that you get all 4 seasons. You get, a hot summer, you get a cold winter, so you can go skiing in the mountains, about an hour's drive from Prague in the wintertime. In the summertime, you go to the lakes or drive down to Croatia to the seaside. So it's a nice, beautiful, temperate climate. Prague itself, so the recent surveys have gone out in Time magazine and Time Out and those sort of things, has been ranked the 16th happiest place to live in the world. It is ranked as the 8th safest country, Czech Republic as a whole, in the world, and the 6th safest city in the world. And as of about 2-3 weeks ago, Time magazine ranked it the most beautiful city in the world, most beautiful green city in the world. For those of you that haven't been to Prague, just go for a holiday, go for a weekend, go for a long weekend, go for a week. It is the most amazing place. And to get the opportunity to study medicine or dentistry here in one of the world's best medical schools is a chance which doesn't come around to many people very often. So why would you want to study here? Charles University is one of the oldest universities in the world. It is the oldest university in Central Europe. And in fact, when it was created in 1348, there were 4 faculties, of which our medical faculty was one of those original faculties. So we are now, in fact, the 10th oldest medical school in the world. And we're still going and going strong. We're the largest medical faculty in Czech Republic, one of the largest in Central Europe, and we are by far the highest ranked medical and dental faculty in Central Eastern Europe. We are ranked in the top 1% of all medical schools around the world. Why? How do we get that top ranking? So it's a chicken and the egg scenario. Which came first? The ranking is a complex. There's many different ranking schemes, Times, there is QS ranking and several others. It's to do with the research output, with our quality of our educators, with our international aspects of it. There's many different things to do with it. But if you want to talk about the more recent times, most present times, one fact that is not up on here is our USMLE results. And the USMLE is kind of regarded globally as a good example of how students are successful or not, and how good a medical school is. So to give you last year's USMLE results, we did pretty well. For our students attempting part 1 of the USMLE for the first time, 100% of them passed. Those attempting part 2 for the first time, 100% passed. And for those attempting to get matching, going for residency, 100% got residency. That actually beats Harvard, that beats Oxford, that beats all the top medical schools this year. We beat them all. That's the quality of education you'll be getting when you come to us. So with that, we have accreditation in all 50 states in America, including being one of only 20 medical schools outside of the US to have California state accreditation. This opens up huge possibilities. It opens up for anyone with an American passport, they can get the full federal loan scheme. They get a full loan for our total tuition fees and some living costs. As of last year also, we've now got qualified for the GI Bill. The GI Bill is for any military veterans out there, that they then get not just a loan, they get a grant for their full studies with us. The same goes for Canada and for several other countries. Of course, we are in the heart of Europe. We are a member of the EU. And so the degree is recognized throughout Europe, throughout EU in every country. And now the UK is outside the EU, we are one of the few medical and dental schools that remain to have automatic full registration with the GMC or the GDC, the General Dental Council in the UK, which means there are no extra exams to take, there's no PLAB or anything else. It's straight into work in the UK. And when I say straight into work, our students, because they're not graduates yet, our students are offered jobs before they've graduated. The vast majority of our students, in fact, pretty much anyone that wants to work in the UK and a few other countries, they all have jobs before they've graduated. So there's no waiting around, it's straight into work, they've got jobs waiting for them. That's what happens with the ranking. So the course itself, the course is according to the European accreditation system, so there are credits allocated for the number of hours in each subject, or how difficult it is if it's examined with a credit or examined with an exam. It is based on the classical medical education system, which means essentially, basically, the first 3 years are preclinical years, the theoretical knowledge, the base knowledge of what you need to know for the latter 3 years, which are your clinical rotations and your clinical years. I'll go into a little bit more detail about that in a minute. We have a campus. It's not a university campus in the sense of some of the American campuses where you've got everything all in one, it's all ring-fenced and private. This is a city campus. The campus itself, the city, the university is right in the very heart of Prague. It's a few minutes, 5-10 minutes walk from the main tourist area of Prague. It's in so the campus itself is an educational campus with our theoretical facilities like the anatomy building that's up in the corner here, is actually opposite the main hospital, which is called VFN, General Teaching Hospital. And that teaching hospital is the largest hospital in the Czech Republic. Not only that, we have multiple other teaching hospitals, numerous other teaching hospitals, not just in Prague, but around the Czech Republic that our students go to or can go to. And not just in Prague and Czech Republic. We have relationships with hospitals around the world. I am very keen that you all get the best education possible. Our job, and the way I see my position, what are we here for, is to enable you to achieve the maximum of your potential. And the maximum of your potential not just means getting the clinical education from Prague, which everyone is entitled to who's our student. But if you don't want to work in Czech Republic when you graduate, then it's in my interest and your interest to get you the best clinical experience in the country that you wish to work in. So we have numerous relationships, contracts, affiliations with hospitals around the globe, the top hospitals around the globe in various different countries. Hands-on clinical education. I put here simulation center as well. We have a state-of-the-art simulation center, which is only a few years old. And already we decided it's too small for what we need it to be. We want it to be much, much larger. This is because simulation is changing the way that we teach medicine. It's enabling us by utilizing the principle that airline pilots use, for instance, where you'll learn the theory. A pilot will learn the theory from the books and from lectures and seminars. Then they'll spend hundreds of hours in a flight simulator, getting accustomed to routine and accustomed to emergency, so that when an emergency happens in real life, they're not flustered, they're not caught unawares and the adrenaline pumping, unable to cope with the situation. So we instigate clinical simulation from the first year. You will have patient contact, real life patient contact in the first year with first aid and nursing and things like that. But we also have instigated simulation training, both on high-tech mannequins, dummies, all the way through to on your colleagues, on volunteers, actors, actresses, and even on live patients. Probably patients will come down and be your simulation patient. That way we can train you off-site, so to speak, not by the bedside where all the pressure and everything's going on, to get you ready so that when you get to the bedside, you are ready to go. You are brilliant from the get-go. We actively encourage research. Research is vital for progress of medicine. And I think it is really important that all of you, when you study with us, you partake in audits and research projects to different degrees. We have, with that, research conferences, specific international research conferences for students so you can present your research on an international level. And the USMLE training is actually integrated into our curriculum in the clinical years and the preclinical years, utilizing softwares like Amboss and others. So you're trained, if you want to do the USMLE, along those ways of doing things. Our cooperation, so Erasmus is a program for European universities that allows movement of students and staff across the globe, predominantly in Europe. And in fact, with the Erasmus program, we have the largest number of students coming through our doors in the whole program for medicine. Here, I just listed a few, and it's a few of the hospitals and the universities that we have links with. This is more the universities, the hospitals we have links with. It's just not our space. I don't want to bore you with a whole big list of all around the world, but it gives you an idea of the kind of international medical school and the reputation, the prestige that you'll be coming to when you come to study with us. So let's talk about the course. We've been teaching medicine for 674 years now. Since its inception, it's always been taught in 2 languages, originally in Czech and Latin, and then Czech and German during the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And then recent years, for 30-something years now, we've been teaching in Czech and in English. The course for medicine is a 6-year degree, culminating in an MD, a doctorate of medicine. Or for those of you who are more akin to the UK, it's equivalent to the MBBS. Slightly higher degree, but essentially MBBS. But we call it, it's an MD, doctorate of medicine. And dentistry, it's a 5-year course, and it's a DDS, or MDDR is the Latin name for it, or in English would be BDS equivalent. The semester, the school year is broken down into 2 parts, a winter semester and a summer semester. So we've just started our winter semester this year. Everything's going swimmingly. This will be up until February, where there'll be 1 month of exam period, and then there'll be the summer semester, ending the end of May, and June is an exam period, and then we have the holidays. Of course, there are other state holidays throughout the year as well. So let's look at that in a little bit more detail. Please forgive my rather simplistic diagram, but I find sometimes simplicity makes it much easier to understand. This is not an exact replica of how things work. Essentially, in the first year, you'll have some big subjects, the foundations of medicine. You'll have anatomy, histology, you'll have some genetics, you'll have other things. And then in February, there'll be this exam period, this period when you can take your exams. Then there'll be the second semester, followed by the June, the main exam period. And that goes on for the first 3 years. In the third year, however, as you can see written there, you'll have introduction to medicine and introduction to surgery. These are more intense kind of clinical rotations. You'll have in each year some clinical activity in the hospital with patients, but in the halfway through the third year, or in the beginning of the third year, you'll start getting, every week you'll be going onto the wards in internal medicine and in surgery. And then from the fourth year, it changes into blocks, where you'll be doing different blocks of different specialties. Now, you may notice that at the end of each of these orange blocks is a red exam period. That's because you're enabled to take your exam during that time. I'm being a bit non-specific about the exams, and that's because the exams are very different to how probably most of you are used to. The idea of the university is to make you the best doctors and dentists, full stop, in the world. That's what we want. We want to enable you to become the best doctors and dentists in the world. That doesn't mean the best medical and dental students. It means the best doctors and dentists. That means we're implying that after you graduated, we want you to achieve and keep on achieving. So the way that we do our education is to educate you for the rest of your life. That's the idea. You have a lifelong education. And there are many factors to this. You'll see that the relationships you'll have with your professors is different to what you may be used to at high school, or if you had done other medical degrees or any other university degrees elsewhere. You will become friends with many of your professors. You'll have open conversations with them, regular meetings with them. We call them consultations. And it is a very open atmosphere at the university and the faculty. But we expect an element of maturity for you. With that, you have the benefit and the deficit of choosing when you take your exams. You get to choose within reason when you take your exams. This sounds amazing. There's also can be very difficult because this requires real time management and dedication. During the exam period and the big subjects for the first 3 years, once you've got the credit to an exam, during the exam periods, the professors will publish a number of exam dates to which you can sign up to any one of them. Again, in the summer exam period and then throughout the holidays, there'll be less numbers, but there'll still be dates available. In the clinical years, in the years 4, 5, 6, dates will be published regularly throughout the whole year for these subjects. So you can choose when you take your exam. The exams are not easy. They're not meant to be easy. This is medical school. This is not studying, I don't know, art or gardening. They are difficult. And every exam culminates with a viva, with an oral exam. This is because this replicates real life. Now, I'm a surgeon by trade. I'm a head, neck, and face surgeon. In fact, I'm dual qualified in both medicine and dentistry because for my area of expertise in the head, neck, and face, the mouth is such a large area of the centre that we work in that by law in the UK, we have to be qualified as both a doctor and a dentist. So I studied medicine and I studied dentistry. And in my, 17, 18 years of clinical practice, I've never been asked by a patient to write an essay about their diagnosis. You know, we have an outpatient's appointment, and the patient comes in, and they never come to me and say, Dr. Brisman, please could you write me an essay, just 2 sides on my diagnosis. But every single interaction I have with the patient, I'm examined verbally. Every outpatient's appointment, at the bedside, I'm examined verbally by the patient about their problem, about their situation. I'm examined in front of other people. There might be loved ones there, there might be the nurse there, junior doctors there, students there. It's a public affair when I'm being examined. And the exam's not fair because they can ask me about anything. Their problem, they might ask me about something totally different, which may not even be my area of expertise, but I could be asked about it. So our exams somewhat mimic what you will be facing in real life, to prepare you for what you'll be facing in real life. So every subject culminates in a viva or an exam. But something like, I don't know, pathology in the third year, you have to perform an autopsy as the first part of the exam. Then you have a random slide test where you have to, a random slide from anywhere in the body. You have to say not only where in the body it is, what organ or what tissue it is, what staining it is, and what the pathology is. Then you might have a multiple choice exam to perform. And once you've passed all those, then you'll have the viva, the oral exam. It's not easy, but with that, you get 3 attempts at each exam. We understand it's not easy. We understand humanity. So you're given 3 attempts at each exam. But the strongest advice I can give you right now is to study consistently all the way through. Keep studying every day, a little bit of reading, and to study with your colleagues, with your friends. A little secret I'll let loose. We grade all exams. The exams are graded 1, 2, 3, or 4. 1 is excellent, 2 is very good, 3 is good, 4 is fail. And that's as far as it goes with the regulation. There is no rule as to how many excellents and how many fails we have to give to our students. My dream is that I can give every student excellent. If you have the knowledge, if you have the ability, I will give you all excellence. So what this means is that you need to study together. You need to work together as a team and with your colleagues, study together, because there is no competition in medical school. The competition comes later on when you're applying for jobs, for a specific job. But during medical school, there's no competition. So study together, work hard together, have fun together, and succeed together. Research. There is MD, PhD programs, or people who are just generally interested in research can do research publications. We have more than 20 PhD programs at our faculty just in English. In the corner is BioStev, which is our specific research facility, a little bit on the outskirts of Prague. It's only a few years old, and we have the biggest research output in the country and in Central Europe, and a harsh reputation from it. And in the background is the Albertov campus, which is where you'll have already on that area a lot of the theoretical education, physiology and genetics, and histology and pathology. But they're about to build a brand new building. In fact, on Monday, we have the first foundation stone being put down for this brand new high-tech, massive building complex there. Numbers of applicants accepted into the first year. So we accept about 150, 160 students in medicine, and about 20 to 40, it was 20, we're raising it to 40 in dentistry. The numbers, as you can see, of our applicants are going up and up and up. We realistically have about 10 applicants per place for medicine. It's a little bit less for dentistry, so there's a slightly better chance getting into dentistry. But there's about 10 applicants for every place available. Yet we have students from all over the world. And one of the beauties of coming to study here is that it's such a metropolis. You meet people from every culture, every race, religion, creed, everything. And you make friends with them all, and you get the opportunity to go back to their country to see what their way of doing things are, and you make friends for life. And I've still got many friends from around the world who I studied here at the first faculty with many, many years ago. How do you get in? Admission is going to be in 2 stages this year, 2 separate stages this year. The first part is the written exam. We have to have a written exam, an MCQ, multiple choice exam, because I want to be fair to you all. And you all come from all over the world, and you all taken different systems for your high school leaving exams, be it A-levels, International Baccalaureate, SATs, CBSEs, everything. They're all slightly different. There's no way for me to be absolutely fair and say, I need these grades from A-levels, those grades from International Baccalaureate, this grade at SATs, that at CBSE. I can't level them. There's no way of making it level. So to make a leveler, we have a multiple choice written exam. It's based on that kind of A-level standard, high school leaving standard, in biology, chemistry, and physics. Not biology, chemistry, and maths, biology, chemistry, and physics. Physics is applied mathematics. You need physics for medicine. You need to understand the physics of how does radiation work, or drug interactions and metabolism, those sort of things. So biology, chemistry, and physics is the written exam. Multiple choice, positive marking, essentially 100 questions on each. If you want more details, it's 25 questions, 25 themes in biology, 25 in chemistry, 25 in physics, each with 4 sub-questions. Each one is a true or false, which makes in total 100 questions for each subject, 300 questions in total. If you are successful in that exam, if you get more than 60% in that exam, you will be invited to interview. If you are one of very few people, one of 1.2%, 1.7% I think it was last year, managed to get more than 90% in the written exam, you will not be invited to interview. You'll be offered a place immediately. So if you're able to get 90% in the written exam or more, then you will be able to forego the interview and you'll be immediately offered a place. But for the vast majority of you, I hope, who get above 60%, you'll be invited for interview. The interview is on the MMI format. This year we're doing 4 stages, 4 very different stages. And I suggest you speak to Gyanberry's team to prepare this. You need to do some practice to prepare for this. It's a special way of doing interviews. It's looking at you. It's not looking at your knowledge. It's not looking at your medical acumen or your biology, chemistry, physics knowledge. It's looking at other aspects of you. And all of you, every applicant must give us a personal statement. Personal statement, there'll be a format online, but it's 1 A4 piece of paper, cannot be longer, maximum 400 words. And that personal statement is your chance to sell yourself to us, to tell us why we should accept you above the next 10 people that are applying. It's a chance to say that you know what you're getting into, why are you studying medicine or dentistry, that you've done work experience, that you have achieved, I don't know, 3 golds in the Olympics, something interesting, something wonderful about you, you volunteer in hospice or something, so that we can want to give you the position that you will be an asset to our university above the next 10 people. Money is always the problem. The school fees, the Czech currency is Czech crown, CZK. It's 450,000 Czech crowns per academic year. Per year you are enrolled with us, which is at the current rates about 17,500 euros or about $20,000. However, depending on where you're from, there are many loans that you can get or grants that you can get. And if you are a good student, it's not available for applicants, but if you're a good student, you have 1LF, which is First Medical Faculty, První lékařská fakulta, 1LF, which is our faculty, 1LF scholarships, and you also have UK, Univerzita Karlova, the main university scholarships as well, for those students who are really high achievers every year. So 10% of all of our students every year, the top 10% of all students will get a scholarship. What else do we offer? Well, you know, it's a normal university in the center of Prague, in the center of Europe. You can do everything and anything that you want there. What's important is the cost of living in Prague is generally quite low, depending on, of course, where you're coming from. But nonetheless, university halls of residence, dorms, are guaranteed for all our international students for all years that they are studying with us. The halls of residence are generally on the outskirts of Prague. They're big block buildings on the outskirts of Prague. There's many benefits to them. You get students from all sorts of different specialities. Charles University has 17 faculties, 54,000 students, of which about 9,500 are international students in every walk of life, from law, engineering, arts, anything you can imagine. So we, in the first faculty, we have about 800 international students across our 6 years. So staying in the halls is much cheaper. and there's the student atmosphere of being in halls. However, they are on the outskirts of town, which means traveling into the centre. And the price of renting an apartment in the centre is not particularly expensive. So what many students tend to do, and what I did when I was a student, was after about 6 months of having to get up at ridiculously early in the morning to go to my anatomy dissections that started at 7:30 in the morning, I rented with some friends an apartment about 5 minutes roll out of bed from the faculty, from anatomy building, and live there. So most students will flat share, and I suggest you look online, on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, for MedSoc, LF1 MedSoc. That's the medical student unions. That's the group of students. It's a union run by you, for you, looking after you. And it doesn't matter if you're not a student yet, they will very happily contact you and give you all sorts of information. And as soon as you get enrolled with us, they take you under their wing, and they really look after you. You're given there's a buddy program, so you're given allocated students in the older years to look after you, to show you around, to help you with studies, to help you going around town from everything. What's also really important is that we understand that you are away from home. And I was just turned 18 when I came to Prague. And it's a big step. And although we think of ourselves at that age as being mature and adults, the parents also may think of us still as children. No matter what, you're going to a foreign country, foreign language, foreign culture, different way of doing things. And although everyone in this country speaks English, it's still not home. So there are times when you may be down, maybe struggling, break up with a boyfriend or girlfriend, or anything else, homesick, or having troubles with your studies, you can't get your head around something. So with that, the faculty has employed student counsellor. We have 2 student counsellors who are the nicest ladies I ever met. One of them herself is South African. She only moved to Prague about 3-4 years ago. So she herself is a foreigner. The other lady is Czech, but her husband is an ambassador. So they've lived mostly, in fact, not in Czech Republic. She's lived in many other countries around the world, from Dubai, in fact, now all the way through to Argentina, and everywhere in between. So they understand what it is to be a foreigner in a foreign country. And when I employed them, and the contract I made was very strict. It was strict that we pay their fees so that you, the students, don't have to. So they can be there for you whenever you need them. But that is strictly where the relationship ends with us. Anything that you discuss with them, everything you discuss with them stays between you and them, does not go on your university record or anything else. Only if you specifically want me to know about something to help you with anything, then you will tell me about it. But otherwise, the only thing to remember is that the faculty has arranged it for you. You don't need to pay anything, and you can use their services as much as you need or want. Lastly, the fun stuff, parties, going out. Medicine is and dentistry very, very hard subjects. And there's the old adage, work hard, play harder. If you don't have some fun, then you will just burn out. So it's important to let your hair down once in a while, but it's important to do it with the knowledge that you must do your studies. If you don't do your studies, it's very easy to have a good time in Prague, but you must continuously study regularly to make sure you get yourself through the exams. Right, I think that's enough of my voice. So I shall end the talk here, and let's open up to questions. I have one very important rule, and my rule is all questions are good questions. All questions are good questions. So please be brave enough to ask the question. If you're not brave enough, then hopefully someone else will be. But please ask the questions. Every question is a good question.
Thank you, Professor. I think it was very, very insightful. I think you have only furthered their determination to apply to the.
Wonderful. I'll then say thank you, Tejas. Thank you so much to you and to your team. Thank you to all of you, 200 or so people that have attended. I'm really grateful for you spending this time with me. I'm going to repeat what I started with at the end of my presentation. All questions are good questions. I'm so sorry I couldn't answer every single one of your questions. As Tejas said, the Gyanberry team will answer everything. Contact our MedSoc, the student team. They will really give you the honest, open answers. contact the university via our website. Mrs. Shohankova is our lady who's in charge of admissions, and she's great at getting back to you, getting information to you. But the Gyanberry team, they are experienced and been doing this for a number of years. They can really help you to give you all the information that you know.
Thank you, Professor. And also I want to thank everyone who have voted in the poll to rate today's webinar experience. I'm very happy to let you know that 99% of the attendees have rated us from good to excellent. There is one attendee who has rated us poor. So we need to know what that feedback is out of all the attendees, but 99% is excellent. So thank you so much, which shows us that we are sharing the information what you need. And once again, thank you everyone for attending this webinar. We are there to help and support your dream become reality, that is becoming a doctor from the top medical school. Wish you a wonderful evening. Professor Aitan, thank you so much for taking out time and speaking with the students. And I look forward to many more webinars to come, while students complete this journey. Thank you so much, everyone. Wish you a wonderful evening ahead.